One character that basically disappeared from Stranger Things altogether was Callie. Remember number 8 from season 2? Yeah, she might be coming back next season. After being one of the most important characters, she just kinda disappeared. But after season 4's events, it is only seeming logical for her to return and hopefully help Hawkins against Vecna. So in this video, we'll take a look at how things could come into play for Callie. First up, Stranger Things season 5 update is good news for a lost sister return. The latest update on Stranger Things season 5 ending given by the Duffer Brothers gives us reason to believe that Callie, the lost sister who appeared in season 2, might be returning. After all, we haven't seen her since then, and considering how important her role was back then, it would only make sense for her to come back. The Duffer Brothers mentioned that when planning out season 2, they'd written too much material for a single season, so some of the ideas are resurfacing as they plan to end the series with season 5. This could be a sign that Callie might make her return since some of the original plans for her in season 2 were perhaps scrapped. Now, with Stranger Things coming to a close, it would make sense for these ideas to finally get used up and give Callie another chance at being part of the show. Coming up, here's why Stranger Things' lost sister was so divisive. Callie made an appearance in Stranger Things season 2 during the last sister episode. Although this episode was met with some criticism because of its visual shift from the rest of the series, it served as an important role in helping open up the Stranger Things world. Through her introduction, we were able to learn more about Eleven and how she can manipulate her abilities. Fans have heavily criticized Callie's character since her debut, and it's difficult to deny that she had an impact on the show. Without her, Eleven would have had difficulty learning how to control her abilities and defeat Vecna like she did in season 4. It's strange how she just disappeared in season 2 with no mention whatsoever. Up next, she needs to come back in the next season. If the Duffer Brothers are looking at Stranger Things season 2 unused ideas to form season 5's ending, then Callie's return is definitely something that needs to be explored. Her entire existence has always been a mystery, and it would be great to see her back in action again. She could bring a lot to the table regarding taking on Vecna since her powers could be instrumental in helping Eleven take him out. Not to mention, Callie might hold a key to discovering 1. Vecna's true identity, and what has happened to her since season 2. She wasn't in the flashbacks Eleven had, so she probably knows something we don't. The last time we saw her, she was still hanging around her gang of misfits, so it would be interesting to see how that alliance has evolved over the years, and if Callie is still as rebellious and determined to take down organizations like Hawkins' Lab. It could really open up some new plot points and provide a fascinating insight into the world of Stranger Things. Moving on, what's the cast theory surrounding Eddie? There's been a lot of talk about Eddie recently and whether he could possibly come back to Stranger Things after dying in season 4. Well, a whole Reddit page is dedicated to the theory that Eddie might return as the iteration of the Dungeons & Dragons character Cass, the Bloody-Handed. The theory is that Eddie could become Stranger Things Cass the Destroyer, and there's actually some pretty compelling evidence for it. If you're unfamiliar with D&D's World of Greyhawk campaign, it introduces a character called Cass, who starts out as Vecna's loyal servant but eventually betrays him and tries to kill him with a sword. After the battle, Cass falls into an alternate dimension of negative energy known as the quasi-elemental plane of Ash. Here, he turns into a vampire and takes on the added title Cass the Destroyer. It's unclear how Eddie could become Stranger Things Cass, considering he was never loyal to Vecna like the original character, but that doesn't mean it can't happen. The fact that so many Reddit users are talking about this theory is a testament to its potential. Not to mention, Stranger Things has already hinted at a Cass inclusion. Stranger Things has a lot of influence from Dungeons & Dragons. If you've seen any of the shows, then you'd know. One example is in season 4, episode 2, where Dustin and Eddie named their villain Vecna. This particular Vecna shares a few similarities with the D&D Vecna, like how they both have a half-practical immortal and half-CGI appearance because of their dark powers, and they both exist in alternate dimensions. The biggest similarity between the two Vecnas is the use of dark sorcery, which could possibly influence Stranger Things Vecna's death. The other major element connecting these two Vecnas is the spider symbolism. D&D's Vecna has been sitting on the spider throne, and spiders often symbolize Stranger Things' Vecna as he floats around in his dark powers with Sparta-like tendrils coming out of his back. In Stranger Things Season 4, it's pretty clear that the writers are going for a D&D vibe. From Vecna to cast references, there are nods to classic Dungeons & Dragons lore all over the place. Take Episode 1, The Hellfire Club, for instance. After Eddie reveals that Vecna is alive in the game, Mike name-drops Cass like it's no big deal. Plus, Eddie and Dustin ward off the demo bats with spike shields, a favorite tool of D&D's Cass. But when it comes to Eddie, the Cass links run even deeper. There are hints throughout his character arc that pay homage to the powerful godlike figure from D&D's past. Coming up, Vecna could make Eddie into Cass. Stranger Things Season 4, The Hellfire Club scene was filled with foreshadowing, particularly when the cultists lowered their hoods to reveal familiar faces. This could hint at how Vecna might return in the future, using resurrected characters that viewers already know and love. One moment of resurrection symbolism includes Eddie holding up an Iron Maiden Peace of Mind cassette and yelling, "This is music." The album cover features Iron Maiden's mascot, a skeletal zombie named Eddie, who is shown in a straitjacket with chains around his neck. Add to the fact that strangulation and entrapment are common tactics used by Vecna, and it starts to feel like this Iron Maiden album cover is more than just a coincidence. Eddie's Stranger Things tattoos have been a source of speculation ever since he died. Fans have picked apart the significance of each tattoo, making connections between them and Eddie's fate. The bats on his arm foreshadow the demo bat attack, while his Puppet Master tattoo references his legendary Master of Puppets guitar solo. And of course, there's a black widow spider tattoo on his chest, which could allude to Vecna. But what does that mean for Eddie's future? Some people might have some bold predictions about where he might end up after his death. Many have suggested that Vecna could resurrect him as a servant or assistant of sorts. This theory is supported by Eddie's connection to the Mind Flayer, Vecna, and he could use his powers to manipulate resources in the environment and bring Eddie back as his own puppet master. Finally, Eddie is perfect for being Cass. The connection between Eddie and Dustin's Cass-esque spike shields is too obvious to ignore. Not only do they each have one in the Upside Down, but Stranger Things takes it a step further by showcasing Eddie's shield in Season 4, Episode 8, Papa. While this could be viewed as just a prop decision, it's far more likely that the show foreshadows something much bigger. While other characters in Stranger Things are similar to Cass in D&D, Eddie and Dustin's connection with Spike shields is a direct reference. It's almost as if the writers are cleverly hinting at what's coming later in the series. After all, why would they opt to use those shields rather than more effective weaponry? It just wouldn't make any sense. It's likely that Eddie is connected to the Cass vampire angle somehow, and his constant association with bats could be a hint. They probably won't turn Eddie into an actual vampire, but the vampiric lore around bats and how his return needs him to be resurrected in a new form makes it possible. As demo bats, not much is known about them apart from that they attack fiercely and move in swarms, but their bites might be more than what meets the eye. The Duffer Brothers have made it clear that demo bat bites don't look like regular bat bites, so maybe these could somehow link Eddie's body to Vecna. That is all for today's video. Do you think Kelly should return for Season 5 of Stranger Things? Make sure you let us know in the comments below. As always, give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. We'll see you in the next one.